What's up guys, CJ here and welcome back to another all-new Star Trek Discovery review, this time for episode 12 titled Vaulting Ambition. After last week's major revelation that this universe's Captain Georgiou is in fact not only not dead, but also the malicious Terran Emperor, Burnham finds herself in a tough spot as Stammets navigates the mycelial network with his Mirror Universe self, and Lieutenant Tyler struggles with his dual personalities. The episode opens with Burnham and Lorca en route to the ISS Charon, the Emperor's flagship, summoned by the Emperor herself. While that showdown is set to be intense enough, they also have a little side quest while they're there, finding the original report about the USS Defiant in the hopes of finding a way home. Over dinner, which was kind of a nice Kelpian stew, things get heated between the mother and her adopted daughter when Georgiou holds Burnham at knife point and accuses her of conspiring with Lorca. But before her execution, Burnham reveals that she's from another universe by giving Georgiou her Starfleet insignia. Georgiou then does something unexpected, revealing to Burnham that she knows of the Federation and the other universes and spares her life. While that's never explained, Burnham appeals to Georgiou, begging her to free her crew, and in the end, a bargain is struck. Georgiou's going to get to see the Spore Drive in exchange for the original files on the USS Defiant, but more on that storyline in a little bit. Back on the Discovery, Stammets is actually showing signs of life after being introduced to the spores last week, but he remains in a comatose state. In his mind, though, he's hanging out with the Terran Paul in the mycelial network. But even that isn't so simple, as some strange corruption in the network threatens them there, and Stammets is led away by a vision of Dr. Culver, who reveals to him that Terran Paul was evil and exploited the network for his own gains. This helps him to awaken in the real world, but so does Terran Paul. Things on the ship are even more complicated with Tyler Volk, who's undergoing some sort of medical emergency complicated by the fact that he is, of course, a Klingon and not human, much to the confusion of Starfleet's medical staff. To solve that puzzle, Saru turns to their other Klingon prisoner, L'Rell. She reveals that yes, Tyler is a sleeper agent, which they did to win the war, which Saru reveals is basically meaningless as now they're in a parallel universe where the Klingons already lost. Saru does force her hand, teleporting Tyler into her chamber, which forces her to reveal that yes, they can in fact undo what was done to Tyler, but it has to be by her hand. At phaser point, she conducts the procedure and seemingly erases Vox's personality from existence, which she marks by doing the Klingon death yell. But the episode doesn't stop there, and in fact gives us our biggest twist on the show to date. Georgiou reveals to Burnham that she saw a father figure in Lorca, but that he groomed her and their relationship became more disgustingly, telling her that he chose her and destiny brought them together. If that sounds familiar, while this conversation happens, we get flashbacks to one of Lorca and Burnham's first meetings, when he reveals that yes, he chose her, but not for the reasons that she thinks, and when they came to the universe, how they managed to jump across safely despite the information being incomplete, and Lorca telling Burnham that destiny more or less brought them together. Then, if the realization of the twist hasn't hit you yet, Georgiou reveals another major bit of information. She's sensitive to light, just like Lorca. Remember the beginning of last episode when Burnham said something to the effect of how even the light in the Mirror Universe is different? That's right, Captain Lorca is actually from the Mirror Universe. Somehow he crossed into our universe to get Michael, to use her to get on the flagship, and to depose the Emperor once and for all, which he had previously failed to do, setting up a major showdown for next episode. Overall, man, this episode was really probably the most non-stop to date, with some major revelations in basically all of our storylines, and really the story advancing in all of those subplots as well. The main storyline had the most to live up to after last week, with the promise of a brutal Mirror Universe Emperor Georgiou, and managed to subvert expectations throughout while still delivering on its promises. That's maybe my favorite thing about what the show has done up until this point. I mean, even though some of the twists have been easy to spot from a mile away, like the Volk-Tyler thing and Georgiou being the Emperor, I consistently find myself surprised at where the show is taking us. For example, now we're going to see Burnham and the Discovery crew more or less forced to be on the same side as the Terran Emperor, and you really can't tell me that you saw that happening last episode. Michelle Yeoh was fantastic. I think we got great performances out of just about everyone. I mean, Burnham is still kind of hit or miss to me. Saru really keeps shining. I mean, Stammets, to me, is always a little uneven as well, but I think he pulled off that role in this episode very well as well. If there's one negative about this week, it's that the side storylines felt a little bit lost in the major happenings with the main storyline. I mean, Paul and Tyler's story arcs had been built up for weeks. I mean, Tyler's has been building up over the entire year, and somehow the revelations about both of those, the conclusions to both of those, still felt rushed. For example, I mean, is Vulk just dead now after basically months of build-up for like 3 scenes in this episode? That's all it took. And all Stammets had to do to get out of the network was just open his eyes. It just kind of was a little loose and underwhelming to me. Overall, though, I'll give Vaulting Ambition Episode 12 of the first season of Star Trek Discovery an 8 out of 10. The twist with Lorca really was a mind-bender. I definitely did not see that one coming, and I don't think you did as well, unless, you know, let me know in the comment section down below if you did. That's going to do it for me here, though. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like if you like what you saw, subscribe for more great content every single day, and consider turning on your notifications to be alerted every time we upload a new video. For even more content, check out our website at hybridnetworkyt.com. And if you love HN and want to take your support to the next level, consider donating to us on Patreon as we strive to bring you the best content possible. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.